Good day, I'm Jose Ocampo and I will talk about negating the rhetorics of education for all through inclusion. The purpose of the paper was to provide a synthesis of studies, which includes disability, discrimination, support and resources, social integration and interaction, and teachers' attitudes towards inclusion. Challenges and prospects for the education of learners with disabilities were provided in the paper, and plan of action is likewise offered. It could serve as an impetus for various researchers to help craft and develop an inclusive education system. Disability. Some persons with disabilities suffer more not because of their present situation, but because of views people hold towards them based on cultural, social, educational, ethnic perspectives, among others. They become more vulnerable as barriers continue to assemble not in their favor. The attention of various sectors can be called on how resources can be made available to persons with disabilities so they can overcome the presence of these barriers. Discrimination. With the common practice that disabled people have been considered an eyesore and unproductive, greater awareness can be created so that members of various institutions can make a covenant and collective action in addressing the problem brought about by discrimination. Their efforts shall be translated to optimistic attitude, views, practices, policies, and better treatment of a disability community. Support and resources. In view of changes concerning school placement, there is a need for a study on the education of persons with disabilities, as well as how they are provided resources and support. This is particularly important in line with further attempts of stakeholders who are willing to develop their learning potentials and other capabilities. One attempt that can be made is the survey of uh, guidelines for provision of resources and support, and whether they are acceptable in such a way they are received by persons with disabilities. Social integration and interaction. Academics and researchers who have much concern with the inclusion of persons with disabilities may call more information on the processes that take place when they interact with other individuals. In the midst of new technology, as many individuals nowadays can readily access, this could serve as an overview on how social interaction can build friendship and support towards providing persons with disabilities greater opportunities to develop cognitive, physical, self-expression, and social skills. Teachers' attitudes towards inclusion. Regular education teachers and special education teachers play a vital role in developing and implementing educational programs for all students, as well as those who have disabilities. These programs, along with instructional strategies, become less important and effective if regular teachers have unfavorable attitudes toward inclusion. The feeling of discomfort among teachers shall be avoided so that the noble understanding about disability and those suffering from it will prevail. Conclusion. The issues on disability remain a major discussion among academics locally and globally. The gap between the problem and its solution widens due to people's diverse perspectives based on cultural or educational orientations. An evidence of which is the continuous suffering of members of disability community from different acts of discrimination. The good news is there are more members of various institutions who have the vigor of sharing their social inventions. This reinforces the idea that inclusive education is yet a better alternative to realize the concept of education for all. Thank you and good day once again.